I'm happy to be alive again. I'm happy to be living again, and I'm happy to have a second chance at life. I've struggled with mental health my whole entire life, like since I was 14.
Most people that are actually like, they have decent amount of muscle or know what they're doing, they follow the same workout routine for like at least 4 months, 6 months.
And I needed a little bit more support from professional people. So the most amount of clients I've ever had was probably around 40.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to this episode of the Start Yesterday podcast. Thank you for tuning in. I'm your host, Adam, aka Puffy. I'm here with, we've met for the first time today, actually, after many years. But I'm here. I can call him a good friend, Dan. And I guess, say hi.
Yeah, what's up, guys? My name's Dan Galicia, Cali Fit or Cali Fitness.
So, I mean, typically, bro, like, when I start the podcast, I normally ask people, like, I guess if they have a sob story or like their background, but it's not that it's that much of an anomaly, but with you, I guess obviously there's been stuff that happened in, I guess, more recent times, right?
Yeah.
So you kind of have the floor, bro. Yeah.
Most recent there's stuff that went on in my past that I'm just tremendously or continuously to go through, and lots of trauma.
Yeah. So I guess what kind of happened? I mean, like, you could say whatever you want, whatever you don't want, but like kind of just, because I know there might be some people, especially that follow you on Instagram or follow you through the grapevine or whatever.
Yeah.
That have heard rumors or make shit up, or some people will just kind of want to know, and you don't need to get into any like extenuating details, right? But just, yeah.
Yeah, there's lots of rumors, lots of lies about what just recently happened. So recently happened, I pretty much hopped a fence, ate shit. So I didn't see that there was a drop after when I hopped this fence. And then I broke my left eye bones, so like the socket, or what's this called?
Orbital.
Yeah. So my left orbital was broken. My ribs were broken. 2 of my ribs were broken, fractured, punctured my lungs. There was blood leaking into my lungs, so they had me on a machine to help me breathe.
Yeah.
And what else? So I couldn't walk, couldn't talk, couldn't move. So that lasted about a month. So a month I was in a coma, and then I started getting in a wheelchair, started moving around that way, walker, this, that. It took me September to November. I ended up in a physiotherapy hospital, where I undergo treatment and personal training, stuff like that. And now I'm fully functional. It's my 4th day in the gym back home. I'm working out again, trying to get my size back. I lost 40 pounds through the coma and everything. So I was 259 pounds before, 259 shredded. Like, I had abs. You could see the striations in my glutes. I looked good. And now I'm 210. So 210. So I lost over 40 pounds of muscle size. So I'm just trying to put that back on now. Trying to eat a lot. Regular stuff.
All right. Gotcha, dude. So, I mean, how was the process with that? Like, obviously it's a probably brutal recovery.
The process was boring and it sucked. I mean, sitting in a hospital 24/7, there's not much to do. Especially like you feel like you're confined. And my girl, she came and visited me lots of times. She kept me company. So that was all right, fine. My mom viewed me on every other day that my girl wasn't there. So I had people and visitors viewing me every day of the week, which kept it more interesting.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I know you struggled or were struggling. I don't know if it's past or current, present, but shit, I even struggle with mental health, right?
Yeah.
Like, is there any things you would suggest or strategies like would have kind of led you into a better path where you're at right now?
I'd say the whole experience kind of changed my outlook on life. Like, I'm happy to be alive again. I'm happy to be living again, and I'm happy to have a second chance at life. And I'm just appreciative more of everything that's going on. And even slowing things down. Like if I'm with my dogs, my phone's away, my dogs get my full attention. If I'm with my girl, she gets my full attention. Whatever I'm doing gets my full attention, and I'm not on my phone unless it's business related. I'm a lot better coach. I'm a lot better at everything that I do. Paying attention more to my work related activities and giving it more of a full effort.
That's valid. So basically, like, are you doing anything like to cope, or you're just like more, what's the word, like great gratitude, like
Gratitude every single day. I am going to start therapy one time a week as soon as I can and start talking to someone about everything that happened, and then even being in group sessions about the accident. They even said that it helps people talk about what they experienced and what they went through with other people who have been through the same things. And you get to learn how other people develop the recovery, other people, how they dealt with it. And then you get to broadcast how you dealt with it and all that stuff. And you kind of get to bounce ideas.
So is there any like rumors that you want to kind of shut down like once and for all? Because I know there's a lot of people kind of saying a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah. No car accident. So that's a biggie. There's posts that I got into an accident, or I even say I got into an accident, or I had an accident, and the accident is exactly that. Like I broke my face, I broke my ribs, not a car accident. So I wasn't driving. So that's the biggest rumor that I've heard.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Is there anything else, or that's pretty much the biggest one?
That's pretty much it, to be honest.
Okay. Gotcha. Well, I mean, I guess we can kind of shift into like, more like business or like overcoming any other challenges. So like before, obviously the accident, you still, struggled with like mental health. So do I, so do a lot of people.
Yeah. I've struggled with mental health my whole entire life. Like, since I was 14. So I was diagnosed with depression, but
yeah. So like, I mean, I guess kind of how did you cope with that, or how do you cope with it? Right. How do you balance everything? Because like when we last talked, you were kind of fucking stressed out about the business, which we'll talk about later. But yeah.
Yeah. Being at a young age, being diagnosed with depression at a super young age, like it gives you a long time to find ways to cope with it, find ways to deal with it, find ways to maneuver around it. That being said, like, one of my dogs recently got hit by a car.
Oh shit.
I'm sorry if dark, but my husky. And at that point I was like, holy shit, this is a lot. So my girl actually took me to Chem H, and we just sat there for as long as it took. We got me on antidepressants, and the antidepressants really helped stabilize my life. Mm-hmm. What else? So yeah, my dog got hit by a car. I recently went through a breakup with my marriage. I broke up with her. I left her. So then my dog got hit by a car. I was like, fuck, this is a lot. So that's when I realized that I needed a little bit more support from professional people and have more support to get me through my days.
No, that's valid. So like, would you recommend other people struggling to do the same thing?
Absolutely. If you're struggling, talk to people, talk to someone, get a therapist, get medication prescribed to you. Some medications don't work for everybody, or they work for a period of time and then you have to switch it. So there is medications that may or may not work, and it's just open communication with your doctor or therapist and making sure that you're getting the right supplies or right education based off of how you're reacting to things.
Yeah, valid. Like, I mean, with me, like I have ADHD, or it's like, I had to test out a bunch of different ones, and like different dosages as well. Some of them, like every body is like chemically different, right? So it's like with some people have reactions to it, some people won't, right? Yeah. But I think it's important that people actually like, they don't necessarily stray away from it, especially if it helps.
Yeah, like personally, I have diagnosed depression, ADHD, borderline personality disorder. I have OCD, a little bit of it, and then ODD. So opposition defiance disorder. So like if you're a cop or if you're someone in authority and you tell me what to do, that's when I get a little bit tense. I just don't like when people tell me what to do or have a seniority of authority.
It's funny. I didn't know until recently, like, other people had ODD, because I thought it was like, I thought they made it up for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was diagnosed with that when I was like 6 or 7.
Yeah, like when I was a kid, if you were a teacher and you told me to do shit, I was like, fuck that.
Well, for me, it's the same thing, bro. It's just a matter of like mutual like level of respect. I'm not. I mean, maybe if it's a cop, like there is a certain amount of respect that I have just because like
Yeah,
I appreciate
same.
what they do. But if it's like in general, like I feel like everybody should be on even playing field. And like, I don't know, like I don't like the guys that wear suits that like just have this vibrato around them and they're like, oh, I'm just a big shot. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. Anytime I've been involved with the police, which has been a few times when I was a younger kid, I always treated them with the utmost respect because at the end of the day, the police are just doing their job.
Yeah.
You give them more shit to fire off, they can charge you.
Yeah, you're
So
fucked.
you be respectful. You listen to everything that they say. You shake their hand. You say, yes, sir. You try not to engage in anything or elevate your reason as to why they're there.
so I mean, for you, bro, like you obviously there was a lot of pressures and stresses that you are going through. But when we last talked, like you were going through a fucking huge revamp with the app and whatnot,
Thank you.
right? So, like, I guess how do you fucking manage all that? Or how were you managing? I guess is a better word.
It's a lot. So the most amount of clients I've ever had was probably around 40, and it's a lot. So I do check in Sunday and Monday. Some days it took 72 hours to reply to everybody. Just replying to everybody.
Because you had other shit going on though, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I still try to do my other stuff. I have my other job. I have my bartending part-time. And then I still have, I was competing for bodybuilding at the time. So I have to make sure I go to the gym. I get my meals in and then I try to answer my clients in between. So sometimes it would take up to 72 hours to reply to everybody and make sure that they got a good reply.
Yeah, that's valid. I mean, that's crazy, dude. So, but like, how did you actually cope with like managing everything?
I got everything on my website subscription wise. So versus e-transfer, then you're reminding people like, hey, make sure you e-transfer me on this date versus you have a website, you have a payment process, you set that payment process to automatically come out of the bank account every single month. So it takes away the headache of chasing people down. And then when you're chasing people down, they always have excuses. This is late, or I got paid late, or I won't be home till tomorrow. And then you're constantly chasing down people for money. So having a website takes that factor away.
Well, just having a subscription service. Yeah,
exactly. The coaching and all that stuff, I did through Google Drive. So I shared all these Google Drive documents through my clients instead of having them all mailed out to them, which I previously did.
Yeah.
I would mail people their programs versus now I just create a Google Drive folder for everybody. I enter in their different documents of meal plan, workout plan, template, or timeline, and just share it to them. So if I ever need to update something, instead of sending someone multiple things, I just go back in their previous document, I edit it, and then I just let them know that it's been changed.
Yeah. But now you're transitioning more to like, or were like to the app where it's like all structured and organized, right? You have like your own, you're gonna have the video library database thing.
Yeah. So literally just before by accident, I looked into getting an app. Now, then my accident happened. I was unfortunately not talking and dealing with
I'm not trying to fucking live.
dealing with everything.
Yeah.
So my girlfriend took it upon herself to cancel all the automatic prescriptions in my bank account that I didn't have access to. So she even froze my gym membership because it was coming out of my bank monthly. So
100%.
she just froze it all, got me refunds. So the app is no longer anymore. However, once I rebuild my business to what it was, I do plan on getting back into an app.
Okay, gotcha. But for now, you're still sticking with the
For now,
that makes sense.
For now, it's Google Drives. For now, it's my website. For now, it's everything that I used to do previously up to signing up to that.
Yeah, because I know we were talking a lot about it, and there was that, and then there was like the social media, dude. I don't know if you want to get into that.
Social media, I mean, I recently spoke to my marketing team that I hired before my accident. My marketing team, I paid them for a month and then my accident happened. I was like, fuck. So I just previously spoke to them. Now when I'm back to being eligible or accessible for filming my own tripods, they're going to give me 2 weeks for free based off of the previous payment and not doing anything with them. So
Yeah, because there was that guy who like was holding your shit hostage, right? Like he had like the raws, and they weren't giving you the raws.
yeah, he gave me all the raws. We don't talk anymore.
Okay, so fuck
God
that
bless him and his business. But yeah, fuck that guy.
No, I know,
But,
I'm not trying to be a dick and start like beef, but like based off of what he kind of did, it was like kind of fucked up.
Yeah, the whole situation was a little bit awkward and weird to be in.
Yeah.
But he ended up giving me all my stuff.
Okay.
And then now I just really be cautious of who I hire to do my social media.
Yeah, don't you learned the lesson. I learned the lesson before. Like, don't hire like he was like what 20, 22.
Yeah, he was super young.
Yeah.
And there was just some things I didn't really agree with.
No, that's valid. But we're not here to throw necessarily shade. I was just curious. Like, I'm glad that was somewhat of a positive outcome, because at the time you basically paid him and he wasn't giving you the services that you paid for, which is just ridiculous.
Yeah, like I had to ask 3 weeks after all my stuff was recorded, like, hey man, like when are you sending me this, blah blah blah. But it took a while to get the documents that we filmed.
That's valid. So I mean, on that note though, of like, I guess the mental health, like, is there anything you help clients with, or like anything you get them to do or would suggest for them to do?
I tell my clients that there's 24/7 communication with me. So if my clients are dealing with something or going through something, they have the access to talk to me. And this is where I give them personal experiences. I provide information to help them through the process of what they're going through, and just motivate them on a regular basis.
Gotcha, man. So, I mean, is there anything like that you would recognize or I guess suggest in terms of like, you know, burning out or like avoiding shit before it escalates? Like, how do you know like when shit gets bad, you know?
Usually when I'm on prep, when you're on prep and you're a few weeks out, your food's low, the cardio is really high. So people get stressed out. And I tell people, the more you stress, the more you're going to interfere with your results. So the less stressed you are, and how do I deal with that? Telling people, have incense around, take baths, warm baths with Epsom salt, really take time to control your emotions, go into the sauna, but, just anything to help regulate their emotions.
No, that's valid. I mean, I would say for anybody to start meditating or journaling, that would help a lot.
Exactly.
Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I was prescribed antidepressants. I didn't take it. I just started journaling, and some of the shit was like, well, it's my journal. Like, nobody's reading my journal, but it's not like,
Yeah.
it's some fucked up stuff. But meditation also really helped, because it's like calming the mind. And then like with the ADHD, it definitely helps in terms of, well, it's fucking difficult to do meditation when you have ADHD. Like,
Yeah.
but it helps, because like if you can, even for 2 minutes, like just focus on breath, like it does help you concentrate and focus. Also yoga, but like, I'm not trying to overwhelm people. You don't need to do all three. If I were to say one thing for like mental health that's helped me genuinely in the last like 3 months, it would be to journal.
Even just going to the gym. Going to the gym's an easy way to,
that's
like,
a given though, right?
getting
But,
past all your stuff and turning your brain off, putting your phone away, grab some headphones, put on your favorite songs, and really tune out for an hour or 2 hours.
well, that helps to a certain extent, but I feel like some people, or honestly a lot of the people watching this episode in particular, like they're probably going to the gym already. Like, there are a lot of fitness people.
Yeah,
right.
it's true.
So I'm one of those guys, like I go to the gym, like I understand, like if I'm in a bad mood or if I'm angry, sure, I'll go get like a pump in, whatever. But like if someone's already doing that, which most of the people watching this probably are, I would then say like
I would go to the gym and I'd always end up stressed after.
yeah, but that's not good.
No, it's not.
That's not good. I mean, I'll admit, like I'll go to the gym.
I'm pumped up. I'm angry. I'm buff.
Yeah,
like it was a bad situation.
Yeah, so then that's why it's like it's good to offset that by doing something other than just working out, because you can't put a band-aid on a bleeding wound. You can't just work out and work out and work out and work out, because then you're not offsetting any of the built up frustration or emotions that you're building up, right? The therapy definitely helps, but even if you're only you can't see a therapist every single day.
Yeah.
Right?
I'd say find a hobby. Like I have my 2 dogs. As soon as I'm done the gym, I'm super angry. I hang out with my dogs.
That's valid.
My dogs are like my little therapy dogs.
Yeah.
If I'm upset and I go to bed, they just follow me upstairs. They tell that I'm upset and they come into bed and they just lay with me.
That's valid. I would say, yeah, finding another hobby is really solid. Like I started doing jujitsu.
Yeah.
So that's really good as well, because it also teaches you discipline, and like in terms of anyone with like anger issues, like well, it kind of teaches you somewhat of like self-control, or like, I would say anger management therapy, but it's like, you can't really get angry at jiu-jitsu, because if you're a beginner and you get angry, then the guy's just gonna fuck you up.
Yeah, once you cloud your mind with anger and you're trying to fight someone, you start to fuck up your physical ability.
Well, especially when it's something so technical, right?
Yeah.
You actually have to think, and that's the one thing that I really like about it, is like, if you're not like, you're actively like moving, but you also have to think. It's almost like a chess move, or it's a chess game.
Yeah.
Right. Because if one guy moves, then you could counter or whatever. And then, yeah, if you just try to out strengthen someone or out muscle them, like most of the time, like the smaller guys are actually going to be better because they're quicker, they're agile.
I found that a lot. When I got into fights when I was younger, going into them angry, I'd get my ass kicked. Now, I never got knocked out, but as soon as I started fighting and when I was thinking a little bit more cautious and a little bit more defensive, that's when I started winning fights.
Well, especially like when like defense wins championships.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Like, you have to, most of the best fighters, they're counter punchers, right?
Yeah.
But with jujitsu in particular, like it's more submission. It's not necessarily like you're doing a lot of boxing or kicking. It's literally like you're counteracting what your opponent's doing. Like if they're trying to get mount, you could flip them, you know?
Yeah.
And a lot of it's a matter of submission. So, I mean, for you, what is, I guess, any suggestions on building like a support system, or how do you build a support system and find help when you need it, you know?
Building your support system, honestly, it's being yourself as a person. The more you try to fake who you are, the more people will just read through that shit. Being open on social media, I find like a lot of people these days, like if you're open on social media, you're properly broadcasting your life, you're vlogging every day. Those people get the biggest communities and people that are fully interested in their life. Like vlog what you're eating, vlog what you're doing. Try to broadcast everything and communicate with people, reply back. Like likes and comments are for your ego. It's that you want shares and everything. Like the shares are really going to drive your engagement on Instagram. So being able to broadcast or post something that is shareable or value worth and people are now sharing it with other people, that's going to build your community.
So you're just saying for people to like build a support system themselves through like social media?
Social media helps, but again, like being supportive in person or in people, like just talking to people, say hello to people. You're in the gym, you haven't spoken to someone, just ask them like, oh, hey, you here training for anything? Just start to create small talk.
Yeah.
And, you know, if they say yes, talk about that. They say no, talk about what you're doing. And they're interested in what you're doing. And now you're just creating small talk.
Gotcha, man. So, I mean, what inspired you? Like, let's kind of shift gears. Like, what inspired you to be a coach? Like, what was the upbringing? Like, were you like a small kid when you were younger, or like, you know?
What inspired me to be a coach? Yeah, before I started anything, I was like 130 pounds, 6 feet tall,
Okay.
skateboarder.
Yeah.
And I skated my whole life. And then I was like, this sucks. Or actually, my first experience was my first round in the hospital. I was like 14, suicide watch, like super young. And when I got out, I was a floating head. Like my head was a lot bigger than my body. So I remember just looking in the mirror, I was just disgusted with how I looked. And that's when I was like, hey, I'm going to start going to the gym, start eating food. And lo and behold, I started to put on weight. Now this was in high school. So I was like grade 9 when it happened. I was bullied a lot in grade 9. So being into the gym kind of helped me diminish the bullying. So by grade 12, I was the biggest kid in high school. I had guys asking me like, what are you doing? What are you drinking? What are you eating? So that's when I was like, wow, people are actually interested in my progress. Like I should make this a living. So that's when I started coaching people. I started with personal training. And then after personal training, like I was a personal trainer up until the certified personal trainer. So my friend did his first competition. And I was like, I look way better than you. I'm going to do a competition. So I did my first competition, and then the gym I was going to at, they wanted to hire me. So I didn't have my certification. I wasn't really educated. And the manager's like, listen, I'll pay for everything. I want you a part of my team. So he paid for my certification, got me certified. So that was at LA Fitness. After LA Fitness, I went to Equinox.
When was this? Like 2016?
I was super young. Like over 10 years ago, over 15 years ago, maybe. So
Okay, so like 2010s. I don't know.
so I'm 28 now. I was like 15, grade 11, grade 12. So
Okay.
I don't know.
You did your first competition when you were like 17?
Yeah,
Oh,
I
that's
did
great.
men's physique, my first competition. God, first and last time doing men's physique. It was awful. But I was actually with Regan Grimes. Regan Grimes was a good coach. But what happened? So yeah, then I went to Equinox. Equinox humbled me. Like, here I'm at LA Fitness, and again, you're a gym douche at LA. You think you're the sickest. Like, you're outlifting everybody. Now, Equinox literally taught me how to program, how to macro cycle, I thought it was nutrition when he said macros. He's like, no. Macro cycle is like how you're organizing your workout split. So I learned a lot at Equinox. It really humbled me as a trainer. After Equinox, I went to Rosedale Club, which was just 5 minutes down the street. It was all Yorkville, but Equinox taught me a lot. Rosedale taught me a lot. And then I moved downtown. So I started personal training. I started my own business, Cali Fit. I opened my own gym. I had a commercial lease and I threw all my commercial gym in it. And then I trained people. And then I was like, being a trainer sucks. You're working off other people's schedule, other people's things. Like, someone cancels on you, you got to redo it all. So after personal training, I personal trained until 4 years ago. And then I started online coaching, and online coaching has been the best change I've ever experienced. Like, being completely remote on your laptop. You're able to take more people on. You're able to get your life back. So online coaching for personal training.
No, I mean, yes and no. I think it depends on the person, what they need. Like, if you're a super beginner, I would honestly say in person's much better.
Yeah,
but you're
agreed.
also working with like more intermediate or advanced, so it's a bit different.
Yeah, like personal training, you're working with like the newbies in the gym. Like, what I am doing now, I'm helping people get ready for shows, people like competitors, stuff like that. So like, we're talking about top level people who want to get ready for a show or conditioned for a show or win their show.
Well, yeah, and they don't need to necessarily go over form, and they don't need like
Exactly.
super anal accountability helps, but it's different levels, right? It's not.
Yeah, even with coaching, like, honestly, I'm not gonna lie, personal training, you're changing the program frequently. You're trying to keep them interested. Online coaching, listen, like, I could change your meal plan frequently, but your coaching itself, like the workouts, like, you want to work on progressive overload. So, making sure that you're increasing the reps, making sure you're increasing the tempo, making sure you're increasing the weight. And now this could potentially take minimum 3 to 6 months.
Easily.
So for me to change someone's program, it's just unnecessary.
Oh, it's always unnecessary. I think people just have a stupid perspective because they are on Instagram and they see this jack guy doing like fucking bicep curls in the leg extension machine,
Yeah.
And no, these guys, like, if they need content, so they just come up with bullshit. But like, let's be real, most people that are actually like, they have decent amount of muscle or know what they're doing, they follow the same workout routine for like at least 4 months, 6 months.
Yeah.
And they just focus on incrementally increasing week by week by week by week.
Yeah, you want to stick to what you've been doing, see a progression in that. Say you got a weaker body part, you want to stick to the same exercises, allow that to grow. And then once you experience something in your physique where, all right, this needs to get a little bit bigger, then you need to change your workouts. But you're only going to notice that after, again, 3 to 6 months. You're taking check-ins on a regular basis. And I'm like, oh, my hamstrings need to come up. So you change the order of operation of your hamstrings or your leg work exercises to more hamstring movements.
Well, and that's why having a personalized plan and a coach is actually super beneficial. You can't just have some cookie cutter bullshit.
Exactly.
Right. But again, that's more like advanced. Like, I mean, obviously I work with a lot of weight loss clients. I don't really need to bring up their hamstring, right? Yeah. But it's dependent on everybody's goals, and then the terminology is specificity.
Right? Yeah, like I normally tell or get myself or my clients to stick to 6 movements, 3 sets. That's normally
3 sets per exercise.
3 sets per exercise.
But like, is it a feeder and like a top and a back off? Or?
Yeah. So you got your warm up set, you got your working set, and then you got your heaviest set, and then your back off set. So depending what it could take. Now, those are variations that I'll add in. So you could have your 3 sets, and then maybe week 4 will be 3 sets, K plus a drop set. So
okay,
you're increasing or you're progressing the exercise as you continue. And now when I start to notice a little bit difference with my client's physique, that's when I start to add in other exercises on top of their current program. And then depending how long they've been doing their current program, then I just kind of switch everything.
Valid. I guess it depends on the split. Like if it's a push-pull leg or upper lower, or a more complex, like whether it's bikini, whatever, because some people have to hit glutes 3 times a week. Right. So it's, I mean, 6 exercises, 3 sets, like it could be redundant, but it depends again on the person's program.
Yeah. Like for females, I get them to do legs 3 times a week. So they have a glute full day. They have a glute hamstring. They have a glute quad.
Yeah.
And then they have a full upper day. So the upper could be shoulders and back, or depending who you are, what your goals are, maybe you have 2 upper days.
That makes sense.
So they'll have a shoulder day, then they have a back day. Guys, that like even when I was on prep, I was doing the same program for 6 months.
Yeah.
Like I saw the most progressions at the end of prep.
Yeah.
But
that makes sense. So how has your philosophy with coaching changed over the years? Because I mean, like, or it's just like you just incrementally got better and better, like as you grew, right?
I find myself, I got better as I grew, and I got better as I hired other coaches and learned multiple things. So it took me a process of learning, asking coaches as to why I'm doing certain things and learning the reason. Or if I noticed coaches were repetitively doing something, I would just Google, why am I eating this at this time? Mm-hmm. And then I would find the answer, and then I'd be like, oh, okay, that makes sense. So I just try to apply everything that I've learned with other coaches or I've learned through coaches. I read MI40 Nutrition by BPAC when I was younger.
Oh, that's a great book.
Great book. And
he's a G. He's so fucking smart.
He really is. And it taught me the math formula of everything. Yeah. So the math formula for macronutrients and how to progress on your exercises, I learned through MI40 Nutrition.
Yeah, he's actually kind of underrated. Like not that BPAC, yeah. Not a lot of people. It's Ben Pollock, right? Or
yeah, he no longer does bodybuilders. So he's actually
just focused on like 40-year-old dads or some shit.
Yeah, so he actually goes to my gym. So I had a previous conversation with him, and yeah, he
Altia.
Yeah,
I thought he was. Did he move?
He actually has a house in Liberty Village in Altia. So he's at Altia frequently, but I've seen him at Pure Muscle. I've seen him at a few other gyms.
Oh, but, I know he's from like GTA or Toronto.
But he's got his own gym.
I thought he didn't he own MI40 like in Miami or something?
Yeah, he has that MI40 in Florida, so he owns that. He definitely's got some real estate there. Yeah. But he has real estate everywhere. Like the guy's loaded.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess when you start from he got ahead of the curve. It was like 2 decades he's been doing this shit, right? But he's super knowledgeable. He's a good resource for anybody like watching this that's a fitness coach. Definitely follow him and go on YouTube. Like he drops some gems. Now you're right.
BPAC.
Yeah. Oh no. BPAC Fitness or just Penn Pakulski, I think it's how you say it.
But yeah, back in the day, he used to compete in men's open and he never won Mr. Olympia, but he
had a great physique.
He was like with the top dogs, placing top 5 and like the Olympia.
Yeah. No, super solid. So I forget how we got on that topic, but all good. So I guess for you, like you've been a coach for probably. Like what? Over a decade, definitely.
Definitely over a decade. I've been online coaching for multiple years. Like I'd say I started my online business 2022, but I've been a personal trainer previously before that since grade 12. Yeah, 11.
So, like, what are some of the best client? Obviously, your transformation is pretty solid.
Thank you.
And even, especially like more recent times, the one that where you're at now, I'm sure fucking 6 months from now, it's gonna look crazy as well.
Thank you.
Right. But what are some of like the best clients that you've worked with or transformations that you've had?
Like the most recent clients, like I'd say the most recent client that I had that was one of my best, is still the best, is Katrina Nicholson. Yeah. Or sorry, Katrina Derma. Or what's her last name?
I'll pull it up on the screen. Or where is she? Is it on your CaliFit or is it on the other one?
Kat Demas. So Demas. So she's a natural bikini competitor. And she won first place for her previous show. Mm-hmm. I'd say other than that, any girl that I have a significant with, or like my girlfriend or our partner, but even my girlfriend right now, she's got a great physique. She trusts me everything that I do. There's Kat. She looks great. Yeah. This is me teaching her how to pose, but she looks phenomenal. And I don't know if I have her previous photos up there, but you guys got to look at her before and her after.
Yeah, I don't know where it is, bro. I'm on the CaliFit one, but it's all good. And then I went to your other one. You need to have like a section of like
It's got to be on there somewhere.
maybe here in the results. I don't know why it's not loading.
But that being said, my ex-wife she was one of my best competitors. But she did bikini. She won first place her first show, her second show, her third show. And then she's like, I'm tired of bikini. I want to continue to train. I want to eat more. She moved into wellness.
Yeah. I would say to definitely put like more updated results or testimonials or like the before and afters here when you can, bro.
Yeah.
Just for anybody like that, not for the sake of the fucking podcast, just for anybody that's going to your fucking Instagram.
Anyone that wants to see it, it's going to be up there soon.
But I'll put your like later. I'll put your when this is out, I'll put your stuff in the description so like people can obviously check that out.
For sure.
But I guess yeah. So you said cat, and then is there any other ones, or that's like the most recent? Right.
Dom, she's wellness.
Yeah.
Her transformation's just up there too as well.
Yeah.
She was great as a wellness competitor.
But you don't just work with women, right? You work with like men too.
I'm majority women just based off of my experience with women and knowing how to train women based off of proper programming and nutrition. However, yes, most men I train as well.
Yeah.
Based off my own physique and everything that I've learned, I'd apply the same things towards my male clients.
No, valid. But like, I guess if you had to choose or specifically niche, but you're like, it would be more female oriented, but it's not like you're opposed to working with dudes.
Yeah. To be honest, I'm not opposed to working with anybody.
Yeah.
I'd love to have a more guy end clientele.
Mm-hmm.
However, I just know there's a lot more experienced or well-known with reputation male coaches with male bodybuilders.
Yeah, that makes
Like
sense.
John Jewett, stuff like that. JW3.
Yeah, he does great.
Great book.
He even dropped some courses now, like online, like he's
Yeah,
selling those.
even if you go to his Instagram, he does frequent podcasts on his Instagram explaining anabolic steroids. So it's anyone who's willing to get into that stream or learn more about them. John Jewett, JW3, great person to follow, great book to read.
It's actually a perfect segue though, because that was like the next question I was going to ask you, bro. Like, I mean, you don't have to dive into crazy amounts, but I was just curious because like I'm someone that's never taken shit. What's your experience and like perspective of using it, and like both, I guess, realistically the pros and the cons? Because
pros and the cons. Pro, they work. Con, they're extremely expensive. Now, depending how you are mentally, they can have some experiences on your mentals. Like me, I was on steroids for 6-7 years. I got through like the roid rage. I didn't personally experience because I was on them for 6 years, so I had more control of stuff like that. However, depending on the cycle I was on or the effects of the particular compound, whether it was DHT derivative, DHT can go to your brain. Now we're talking about Tren, we're talking about stuff like that. Now, Mastrone. Now Primo is your lighter DHT, so Primo has negative to any side effects, or it's the healthier side. Now stuff like Deca, there's Decadic, so Deca can make you not get a hard on. Tren is the most mentally unstable. It can add prolactin or progesterone. Progesterone can go to your brain and make you crazy. So you got to be careful on what you take and how much you take it.
Okay, so on that note, like, I mean, that was a lot, but I mean, mainly like in terms of like the mental aspect, I feel like a lot of people don't, I guess, understand the ramifications of that necessarily. So you're saying you didn't really experience a lot of negative side effects with it?
Not until most recently, but yeah. Now, when I'm prepping and I'm on a low calorie deficit,
that's a bit different though, right?
Yeah, low calorie deficit, you're going to be a dick no matter what you do. You're going to have no energy. You're going to be hungry 24/7.
Even if you're on shit or you're not, like, that's understandable.
If I didn't eat for a day and I'm doing 2 hours of cardio and I'm not on shit, I'm going to be grumpy.
Yeah.
Now you add in the anabolics, you're going to be grumpier.
Yeah.
So if you're grumpy, it just adds to it a little bit. Depending what you're on, like clenbuterol can make you a little bit jittery. Mm-hmm. T3 is very catabolic, so you got to make sure that you're on anabolics to prevent the catabolism that happens from T3 or Simutel while you're on it. Other than that, like I've been taking insulin. At insulin, you go hypoglycemic, so making sure you take 10 carbohydrates per 1 gram insulin can reduce the hypoglycemia. So post workout, sometimes I go straight to my bartending. I'm literally behind bar going hypo. I'm like sweating, drenched, and then I just grab whatever juice we had at the bar to mix with, and I chug juice just to keep my blood sugar up.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah.
That's fucked.
Growth hormones, super expensive. Unless you're using UGL, and now there's like more reputable UGLs or tested based UGLs that are 90% tested, and any pharmaceutical grade, pharmaceutical grade is 99% effective. I think off the top of my head, you can find UGLs that are 90% effective.
So like, I mean, what would you say in terms of like misconceptions or risks? I'm sure there's a lot of risks.
Like risk, I got gyno, or I had gyno.
Did you get surgery or just?
Yeah, so I had surgery for gyno, but the surgery cost $10,000. And now like,
no, you can go get Turkey. It's cheaper.
True.
My coach, I had a coach. He's from the UK. He went to, I think, Turkey. It was like $3,000 Canadian.
Yeah, but then you have the flight, the hotel.
Oh, I'm not saying it's a great experience. You're better off doing it like locally, sure.
Yeah.
But if that's the biggest cost or reason why someone's not going to do it, go get it cheaper somewhere else.
Yeah, like most people, I personally don't experience it, but hair loss. I actually grow more hair when I'm on cycle. Most people get a lot of acne from anabolic steroids. I personally get zero acne, zero hair loss.
Interesting.
The only negative side effect I experienced was the gyno.
Yeah.
Until I got it removed.
So once you got the surgery, like
I don't have it.
It can't come back, right? Okay.
Yeah. Now 99% chance of it coming back, or it not coming back. So there's a very small chance of it coming back. However, very unlikely.
Yeah.
Now if I lose my hair or lost my hair, I would just do what C-Bum did to get a hair transplant.
Yeah.
Like you go to Turkey, that's like pretty cheap too. Now if I experience crater acne, when I say crater acne, like some of these guys get such bad acne, it looks like their skin has craters in it and it's ripping. Yeah. If I experience that, I'd probably stop taking steroids.
That's valid.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, you're doing it for your physique. You're doing it to look good. Now, if you're doing something that's making your physique look good, but then you have all these negative side effects where your physique no longer looks good to look at, like, I'm going to stop doing it.
So I'm going to ask you like an uncomfortable question, but I mean this from a good place.
Yeah.
With all the mental health, and so this is also like, for me, I struggle with a lot of mental health shit, right?
Yeah.
I'm not, it's in a competition, not on the same level as you, and I don't mean that in a dick way.
No, of course.
Right? But with depression and ADHD and like anger, whatever, it's the biggest reason I've never taken anything. Plus, like I have no real goals of stepping on stage.
Yeah.
I'm like, what's the word? I'm enticed by it.
Yeah.
But I know for me personally, like you said, if you're angry, it'll make you angry. If you're sad, it'll make you probably sadder. So with everything that's happened, or just
happy, it'll make you happier.
Right.
So it just really depends on.
But most people are not a fucking happy-go-lucky happy guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like typically hippies aren't gonna want to take like fucking gear, you know.
Very true.
I say that all to say though, bro. Like if all the mental stuff happens recently and before, like why keep doing gear? Like, or are you done with that? Like what are you doing now? You know what I mean? Like I know
I'm off everything. Now I'm just obviously on testosterone because of your hormones.
Yeah, that's normal, right?
Stopping, like once you synthetically inject testosterone, your natural production of testosterone starts to hinder, or it doesn't come back.
So other than like TRT or whatever we want to call it, whatever, just like test. That's completely fucking normal. Like for me, probably it's not a matter of if, it's when I'll do TRT. Right? But anything other than that, probably not. But I guess for you, like, are you still wanting to like go on stage, or are you gonna take like, you know, all this shit?
Like competing, I'm done competing. Okay. And I'm done competing because like there's so much more things I'd rather invest my time and energy to. Like,
yeah, it's valid.
I remember at work I would always be on prep. I'd never do a lot. I wouldn't clean like the end of my responsibilities.
Yeah.
Because
you didn't have energy.
I'm tired, this, that, I'm hungry. I leave the bar to go eat my meals, or I would stop doing what I was doing and reduce the amount of money I could make because I was leaving to go eat and stuff like that. So restricting yourself, no way of living. Like my girl wants to go out, I got a food scale. I got my meal packed. Now she wants to go out. We're going to a restaurant. I got nothing on me. I'm just getting whatever I need.
Just enjoying life.
Yeah. And like all my meals, if I'm not out, like my meals at home, there's still food scale. They're still portioned out.
Yeah.
And if I eat something while I'm out, I take mental note of it. Like how much fats was in it, what was in it. Like the next meals when I go home or my meals before that, I anticipate of me going out. I remove those fats or extra carbohydrates from my meal. Protein is something I never count because the more protein you eat, the less nothing's bad. Nothing's
bad about eating fucking protein.
The more protein you're gonna have, the more muscle you're gonna put on. So
well, and also the less fat you'll be because you'll be more satiated.
Yeah. Plus, protein is the only food source that adds thermogenesis to your body.
Yeah, it's like it basically burns up your furnace.
Exactly.
It's like
for you burn more calories with protein than you do anything else.
Yeah, for 100 calories of protein, it takes 30% of that. So your real net is 70 calories, which is it's a real great diet hack.
Yeah,
it's a real great fat loss hack. Like I mean, that's why carnivore works so well.
Like you're on prep, you're dieting, you're hungry. Add in some protein, add in some vegetables.
Literally eat a fucking chicken breast.
Yeah.
And then there's also a funny fact, but to me it's true. You're not actually that hungry you're not actually that hungry if you want to eat like a fucking protein bar or an apple. You're actually hungry if you open up your fridge and you eat a chicken breast. Like it's like the protein rule, you know what I mean?
Like you're hungry, quotations on that, and you're going out to cheat on something. Like you're not that hungry. Like you're eating actually what you on your meal plan or more protein. You're starving.
So are you like done with like all of the hard stuff or? Yeah,
I'm done competing. I'm done putting myself through stressful environments that come with competing, and I'm done. I still like health and fitness is still my shit.
100%.
Like I still have a passion for health and fitness and all that stuff. Like if I could pick one thing, like McDonald's over Impact Kitchen, I'm going to Impact Kitchen. I'm getting a salad. McDonald's, no chance I'm ever going to McDonald's.
Actually, though, on McDonald's, okay, I'm not saying it's the greatest thing on earth, but if someone's in a bind, just fun fact, you can get grilled chicken sandwiches or just grilled chicken patties.
Yeah.
And one of the like food hacks that I'll do if I'm on the road or I'm like running late, like you can get a triple grilled chicken patty. It is fucking expensive. It's like $15, but it's like 500 calories and 80 grams of protein. Now, I don't know how legit like the protein is. Like, I don't know if this is like fucking lab grown meat or whatever, but I actually really like that hack. But I know what you're saying.
Does it sometimes when they blend chicken, they blend like cartilages and all that shit?
Yeah, it's gross. But you're like done with all like the hard shit.
Yeah, all the hard stuff that comes with bodybuilding and the hard life that comes with bodybuilding, I've done that. I'm more interested in a relaxed, chilled life. Like C-Bum just retired. Now, if C-Bum can retire, I'm not comparing myself to C-Bum.
No, but you take a lot of inspiration from him.
Yeah, like C-Bum is definitely my idol. Yeah. Even his brother-in-law or his old coach Ian Valier, he's retired.
Yeah. A lot of the old like OGs, like the guys that are now basically approaching 40s.
Yeah, they retire themselves. Their healths get affected. Their life gets affected. Like you see C-Bum, he's like posting his wife every day. He's posting his kid every day. The other night he ate a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and he just wrote "living" as the caption on his story. And I was just like, yes, Chris, live.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So just to, I guess, put a bow on it in terms of the like steroid thing, is there anything in terms of misconceptions like that you would tell people? Like I don't think enough people understand the risks, but I'm not necessarily like that's necessarily like I guess the whole point of the podcast. But is there any misconceptions that you probably get people messaging you about, or like you would want people to know?
I'd say the most common question I get is about orals. Don't take orals only. You have to have tests. Like say you have a pizza, like your dough to your pizza is the base. Testosterone is your base. Everything else is your toppings to your pizza, like the pepperoni, the etc., the sauce. Like those are your orals. So if you're gonna do Anavar or anything like that, make sure you're taking your testosterone because Anavar suppresses your natural testosterone. So if you're not taking synthetic testosterone, your natural test will be suppressed over time by taking orals. Even the light orals like Anavar is the lightest oral you can take.
Yeah.
Side effects, most likely not.
Yeah.
I know a lot of girls that run Anavar. I've had chicks run Anavar. They've experienced no side effects.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
And what are your thoughts on SARMs? Or probably a lot of shit.
SARMs, garbage.
Yeah.
don't take SARMs. There's little to no research on them. There's
Might as
little
well
to no like steroids have been around since the 80s.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of long-term research on steroids and how they affect someone. And there's long-term research studies on health risk.
Yeah.
SARMs, they don't have enough research in how it affects the human body or what cons does it cause and how to suppress those cons.
How the fuck did you learn all this shit? Or like, did you take courses, or you just I guess into trial
Honestly,
and error?
I'm on YouTube 24/7.
Yeah.
I watch a lot of people's Instagrams and a lot of people's podcasts.
Yeah.
But that's basically how I learned. But yeah.
No, that's valid. All right, so we're gonna take a quick, not really commercial break. I have to pee. And we're back. All right.
Yeah. Shout out to Perfect Sports Nutrition, my supplements, code Daniel20 for Perfect Sports. When you go online, you get 20% off by using Daniel20. Same thing with Lift the City Supplements. They're a retail store in Toronto. You can say Cali Fit or code Dan Galicia. Either one of my names with the owner, Artie, and he will give you 10% off your order.
There we go. Well, we actually did have a commercial break.
There you go.
There you go. So let's, I guess, shift gears into, like, I guess, business and marketing. So, bro, for you, like, what's the key to having a successful fitness business? Now, we obviously don't have to go into like specific numbers. We've talked about that a little bit behind the scenes, but that's nobody's real business.
Yeah.
But for you, like, I guess, what are like the key elements of success?
Being consistent and progressive and constantly learning and applying yourself to learn more. And honestly, if you're just starting out, take on a few free clients. Like I've had many free clients in my lifetime just to demonstrate the abilities of what I've known and broadcast it, post it, which allowed me to get more feedback from other people and take them on as paying clients.
That's pretty solid advice, actually, because you learn from that, right? I mean, the only caveat is, and I've tried doing that before. I find, I guess it depends on the person. But most of the time when I've tried it, like, they don't take anything seriously.
Very true.
So it's pros and cons. You are wasting a lot of your time, but that's the best way to like make your time valuable. It's like you can prove results and shit.
Yeah, like I had one client, she was free, she was doing a prep, and I kept pushing her prep.
Yeah.
Because she was cheating on her diet. She was doing something. Like something was not adding up. And then I kept pushing her prep because she wasn't conditioned enough to the point where I pushed her prep like an additional 8 weeks. So 14 weeks out didn't look good. 16 weeks out didn't look good. 18 weeks out didn't look good. And then the week out from her show, I was like, listen, like, no offense. Like, I can't have you go up there, throwing my reputation out there.
Exactly.
As a client that I coached, I'm pulling you from your show.
No, that's pretty valid.
Yeah.
So, I guess for you, like, what are, for your entrepreneurial journey, right? Like, you went through a lot of shit. Like, you were the trainer, you were trainers at different gyms. Then you launched, I guess, officially. You did the online shit like a couple of years ago. So, what's the journey, or what's the lessons you took along the way to where, like, is it just like you fucking network? You know what I mean? Because I know you told me, like, you get a couple clients because you're just jacked at the bar, people.
Yeah. Networking is a huge thing.
Yeah.
Like, I originally moved to Toronto, and when I moved to Toronto, I knew everything that I currently know in fitness. I was like, shit, how do I meet people? So
where were you from originally?
I was originally from Newmarket.
Oh, okay, but you were in GTA, like,
I was
okay,
in
gotcha,
GTA, stuff. But I knew tons of people in Toronto, so I was like, how do I meet more people? So I became a bartender, and being a bartender like allowed me to meet more people, allowed me to get a condo with a gym, and a condo with the gym. That's when I started training people outside of my gym, and I was like, all right, sweet, now I'm making some money. And then I started freelancing at home fitness. It's $500 a month to freelance.
Yeah, it's typical.
And when you times it, or you have to have a certain amount of clients, so when you times their price based off of reducing the $500 freelance, you can make money.
Oh, for sure. If you have 10 clients, or even 8 clients, it's fine, right? And then it depends on your hourly rate. But no, it's 500. 500 is typical. Like, there's a couple gyms in Vaughan that charge the same amount.
Yeah, and the client-wise, like, I would make sure that I wasn't charging per session, because you always have the person per session of the day. They cancel last minute, and then you're just scrambling, or you're just trying to fulfill your day. Now, I made people buy 6 sessions. I 6 plus 6 is 12.
Yeah.
6, 12, 24. 24 plus 6
36,
is
48. You just did
Yeah.
like increments of 12 basically?
Yeah, increments of 12.
Yeah.
So if someone wanted to buy a month up front, they had to pay me up front for the entire month. And now when they go and want to skip a session, they're like, shit, I've already paid this. I shouldn't miss it.
Yeah.
And if they did miss it, within 24 hours, if you canceled on me, I would deduct that from your sessions.
Okay.
Yeah. So if someone canceled on me the morning of, I'd be like, hey, sorry, I'm taking that from your sessions.
That's
like,
reasonable.
Sorry, could have rescheduled my day, could have done something.
No, that's definitely reasonable. So I think that's a really solid piece of advice for most people. Like I tell trainers or friends of mine that are like trying to do their own shit the same thing. You can't take a client on if first of all if they're not serious. You put your money where your mouth is, so you can show how serious you are. So they don't necessarily have to be paying a year up front. But at minimum, you got to meet somewhere halfway in the middle. You do it. You sign an agreement to at least, for me, a minimum of 6 months. But again, different industries. But for you, it's probably minimum 4 months for a prep, right? So then you pay month to month. That's fine, but at least a month up front, right? But then also, I feel like people don't realize like services are like a lot of what we do is up front, right? So we give them the stuff and then we make mods along the way. Yeah. So then they try to cancel halfway through. That's not really valid. That's not reasonable.
And then I say like it depends on what you do, who your niche is, what your clients are. But if someone buys more up front, you throw in a percentage off.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Like I always give like a 10% discount. They're going to pay for the year, right? To incentivize that for sure. Right. So that's a good piece of advice. Is there anything else like that you've learned or like would want to say?
24-hour cancellation, getting people to pay up front, hiring someone to work for you works great.
You have a VA, right? Or you had one?
No, I had at the time my ex-wife. Now she was working for me as a personal trainer.
Okay.
And I got a percentage of the amount that she sold. So
okay.
And then I paid her upfront on the spot instead of weekly paychecks. If we sold a package and she sold a package, I would just pay her immediately.
Yeah. No, but you're saying to hire someone to work for you. So you're saying that in any capacity. So like whether that's someone like under you or a VA is like virtual assistant. Like, what do you mean?
Yeah, having someone to work for you or reduce your load can honestly help you a lot, or help you invest more time into what you're currently doing.
Okay, so when you had the gym, you would just basically do the training. She would sell a bunch for you?
Yeah, like I would have someone working there, training there for me, and then anytime I didn't want to go to a client, I would just be like, hey, here's $20, go train this client for me. I'm not going to make it. Blah, blah, blah.
Okay, so you'd offset it and leverage it.
Yeah.
Okay, got you, dude. So, I mean, then like, what are some of the things that you do for your coaching? Like, I mean, is it just like the Google Drive, or is just like what makes you unique, or is just like the results?
So I provide everything from nutrition to supplements, workout programs, cardio plans. They're obviously tailored to each individual client on what their food preferences are, or what they're trying to train, or what their schedule is throughout the week. And then I do post their transformations with their acceptance.
Yeah.
If a client tells me that they prefer not to have their photos posted or put up, I stay away from it. So a lot of clients of mine prefer not to have their photos up.
Yeah, I have the same issue.
But that's everything that I do.
Yeah. No, that makes sense, bro.
Yeah.
So for you, like, how do you approach, I guess, getting clients, or it's just mainly like through referrals, right? Like
I personally find the more that I post my prices, the actual less feedback that I get, versus actually being involved in my business, posting transformations, posting my clients, talking to my clients, posting their replies. The more I post my clients or post their progressions, the more people I get that are fully interested.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting. So you're saying to like just basically put your pricing out there?
Yeah, put your value out, put everything that you've currently done with your clients out to the public. You'll get more clients versus just throwing your price in people's face. No matter what, like people are going to be like, oh, this guy's kind of hungry. Like, I don't really want him.
Okay. So is that how you get clients, or like it's just referrals, or?
I get clients through referrals. and then posting their transformations.
Okay, so just like organic.
Yeah.
Right. So then in terms of like acquisition or I guess retention, how do you maintain them? Or it's just because they get good results and then they
get good results and they want to stay. They do a show, they want to stay, they want to do another show. I get clients who want the accountability. Now they could look amazing and get results, and they get the results, and you think they don't need a trainer anymore, but then they're like, oh, I love the accountability. I suck at this by myself. I don't do anything. Like, then they just fall off.
No, that makes sense, bro. So, I guess then where was I? For you, like, how do you manage operations and like, well, you had like 40 clients at one point. It was just all you?
It's technically all me with Cali Fit right now. I do all my clients. I manage all my clients. I write all their programs. I contact them myself, and I reach out to everybody by myself.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
So what are the challenges you faced? We're trying to grow.
Obviously, the amount of load that I get, it gets a lot harder. So I have to figure out ways how to balance the load. Charge not too much where I'm interfering with people's finances, but I'm also making enough where I can like say I can take on a certain amount of clients at a certain price and make sure that I'm making a certain amount of income per month. Versus charging them too much. Now I'm not getting clients or charging way too high that no one wants to work with me.
That makes sense. So like what would be like the biggest challenges you face trying to scale?
Honestly, I'd say it's my personal persona on Instagram. I'm not good at it. I don't have it. I don't post myself enough.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't talk enough on Instagram, and I find like someone like Jeff, Gloria, Gina, fucking amazing. They're on Instagram 24/7. They post every single day. They talk to their camera. They talk to their clients. They put it out in the open. I find that stuff's amazing. It works really well for them. If there's someone that I would bite off of their inspiration or what they do, it's probably Jeff, Gloria.
That makes sense. Yeah, he's just more, well, it's basically building a personal brand.
Exactly.
Right? He literally just posts about himself and people like
it. He started his clothing brand with his business. Now, I've been asked to bring out clothing. However, I think there's certain steps you have to take, like starting the brand and getting people involved with your brand.
Have enough shit going on. You don't need a fucking clothing brand.
Yeah, come out with a clothing brand after you have the availability to, or you have the clients. Like, I could come out with a Cali Fit sweater and like just my clients are going to buy it. Like, that's not going to make me money. I want other people to buy it.
Yeah, but I don't think I don't think it's worth your time, dog. Like, you're not making any money from that shit.
That's fair.
You're better off leveraging higher income opportunities.
I agree.
Yeah, that I wouldn't do. It's like the same thing as like creating a supplement line. Like, what the fuck's the point, you know?
Yeah, like
at least at this point, like there's so many. Everybody's got a clothing company or a supplement company.
Plus, it's like, why aren't they Olympians or IBB pros starting their own supplement companies versus like they're with supplement companies getting the big paycheck or getting free supplements from them?
Well, the difference is most of the ones have promo codes because they don't want to deal with the infrastructure and the headache of creating a company. The ones that have the capital, cough, cough, C-bum, he started his own protein company because he was not making enough from the promo code. He was like, fuck, I'll make my own company.
Yeah,
and
like
then he
became 50% owner of Raw Nutrition, and then they came out with his own protein line within Raw. So
no, that's the only way they could have done it, basically.
Yeah.
What's his face? Noel, the South African jacked guy, the bodybuilder, Noel Dizer or some shit like that. I forget how to say it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. He was, they did the same thing with Rise. He's like a part owner of Rise now because he had like 5 million followers. And like, well, you at a certain point, promo codes are not going to like give him the actual fair value that he brings. Yeah.
Same thing with Chris. Like, he had his promo code with Gymsharks, and then Gymsharks was like, fuck this, let's make him part owner. And he became part owner with Gymsharks. And now their sales have gone up and their clothing has changed.
Well, he's an anomaly, though, because he's got such leverage in terms of the audience. Like, he actually has more followers than Ronnie Coleman and Arnold Schwarzenegger combined.
Yeah, he's probably one of the more inspirational, more, what's the word I'm looking for? Sensational bodybuilders out there.
Well, yeah, he's just, He's a real anomaly, but yeah, that like I guess. But yeah, anyways, we're getting kind of off topic. Yeah, you don't need to start a fucking. You don't need to start anything more, bro. You got too much on your fucking plate.
Yeah, that's true. I need to work on scaling my stuff, progressing my stuff before I start everything else.
So the app right now, that's like a back burner, right?
The app's a back burner until I get my clients back
Yeah.
from my accident.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
again, my girl, she gave everybody a refund. I was unaccessible for 3-4 months. I
Yeah.
wasn't talking to people, and people are paying monthly, and when you're not replying to someone after a month,
Well, that's pretty
it's
fucking
insensitive
reasonable.
to give someone their money back and tell them like, hey, I can't coach for this period of time. So
I mean, that's pretty reasonable. Well, it's also like people didn't know what was going on too.
yeah, so Miranda was the one who communicated with them all, emailed them all. She went through my email. She had access to my email. She
Yeah.
found everyone who was emailing me and PayPaling me, and she messaged them directly.
Yeah.
Be like, hey, Dan can't talk right now. Let's refund you everything.
Okay, so now it's just basically like you're kind of starting. No, I wouldn't say starting from scratch. It's like very blunt, but like you're starting anew. You're rebuilding.
Yeah, like I'm already up to 5 paid clients. Once I get to 10 paid clients, that's when I probably get back to the app.
Why?
Wanting to do the app. Why? Because I find then you can scale more. The app does everything for me. So the meals I have to make myself. I have to go into FitLog. I have to add in the meals. I have to food and portion them. When you have the app, it kind of gives people different varieties for meals. It kind of it changes their meals on a week or a daily basis. And it sets the macronutrients for them, or you set their nutrition or their macros, and the meal plan that's within the app aligns it with what you set your macronutrients as. So why I find it's easier to manage clients and you can scale a lot more.
No, it's pretty valid.
Yeah.
But like that was the macro thing that you told me about.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, but it was quite a lot. Like you can probably just use a software, no?
Yeah, I use FitLog for it all.
No, FitLog's I like them, but they're not great. Like
Yeah, like there's MyFitnessPal, but then you gotta search the food. You got this, and then like.
but like why not like I don't know, like something like Trainerize or like something like that.
Now I've recently looked into those apps.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying, like those softwares basically.
But I haven't done much research into them. So
Well, it's just significantly cheaper, dog. Like I know what you're saying. There's another one you should maybe look into called Coach AI or My Coach AI.
that I've heard great things about.
So I was one of the first. I was like the first 50 trainers to use it when they started like fucking 2 years ago or some shit.
Huh.
They just took like basically all of like the top apps like MyFitnessPal, Macro Factor, Trainerize, and they kind of stuck it in the same.
Yeah.
It helps in terms of when you're saying scalability. Now every plan is still unique, but you have templates, right? You have certain things like what you're saying regarding the nutrition. You'd still have to like pretty much customize it there, but there's certain people that might benefit from the same program you've already created. So you don't have to do like the same Google Drive shit and like the check-ins, it's all there. You don't have to do the Google Drive shit or the emails, right? I mean, I would look into that versus like, I don't exactly know how much the app, macro, whatever was charging, but it's significantly cheaper, dog.
Yeah, like when I make the drive for my clients, now if there's a really good program, I just go to someone else's drive, I copy and paste
But
it.
you modify it,
and
right?
I add it to this next person's, and I modify the reps, the weights.
For sure. But
the
that's
rest.
most coaches are not going to admit this, but that's pretty much what everyone does. But that there's nothing wrong with that. It's like, I don't know.
I mean,
you have a template.
You can only make so many good workouts for your chest or so many exercises for your chest where you're just going to repeat yourself at the end of the day.
Well, and then it just gets like, okay, sure, I'll make a new plan just for the sake of making a new plan, but it's not going to get better. Yeah, most of the plans that have to be unique are especially like the ones that have like a home gym, right? Like a home gym setup, or like they have like a apartment gym, right? But like for most people that are in like commercial gyms that have access to like everything, then it's a bit
like I have some people at commercial gyms where they don't have a Smith machine. So this is where I'll write down, free weights or barbell, or I add in different variations of the exercise, and I give the option to do multiple things for that exercise.
So then in terms of like marketing strategy, I know we were talking like, I think it was like end of August or September, you were doing the macro thing. You also had the VA or the virtual assistant type of thing as well, right? Where someone was going to like be a setter for you.
I was looking into it. Now I couldn't find any good ones.
Yeah.
I was originally going to hire Do you remember what they were called?
Nah, it was like a robot or something. I don't know. It's just basically like they were putting a setter or a VA in your.
I was gonna hire someone from like Asia or China
Yeah.
or Thailand or wherever the hell it was for super cheap, and then I understand that they didn't really know what they were doing, so I wanted a VA who had experience within the field or someone with fitness experience. So if you ask them a fitness question,
Yeah.
they could upon themselves answer it, or it sound more what's the word I'm looking for?
Legit. Like they
Sound
spoke
more
fucking
legit
English.
when they explain it.
Yeah, it's like, bro, what you're saying is like that's a needle in a haystack, dog. You might as well like create your own like AI robot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That knows how to like that can talk to like that you train.
Now, I originally used AI for programs,
Dog
and
shit.
I found that AI is very unfamiliar with the education that I know. Now I use Meta.
I think it's just Meta AI or some shit.
Meta AI.
Yeah.
It's a lot more intricate with its answers.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, really anything, but accountant or whatever. Like it's always good to get a second opinion.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he's saying bad things. It just for me that's a red flag. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, of course.
Right. What's left? Well, you're doing that. You're not doing ads yet. The marketing strategies, basically, you're gonna do the app eventually. So yeah, I mean, man, honestly, like, what's next, or what's kind of like the plan right now? I mean, this is an anomaly for the podcast because typically, like, I release shit way later, but like, it's like December 1st. We'll probably drop this in like a week and a half or so. So
Yeah.
it's gonna be recent, right, when people listen to this. So I guess like, what's next, bro?
What's next for me personally? No more competing, no more bodybuilding, no more crazy cycles.
Yeah.
I'll probably go to Tulum a few times. I'm trying to establish a way more advanced relationship with my girlfriend. Hopefully get her on the same page. But
I dare to ask, what the fuck does that mean, bro?
like, hey, I want to get married. I want to have kids, you know,
Okay.
but I also want to be way better as a human being.
Yes.
Before any of that, I want to get my mental health in
Yes.
check. I want to be able to be a good father figure before I have kids.
Yes.
And then my brother asked me, he's like, do you want kids or do you want to have to be a father? He's like, be careful of your answer.
No, that's a
I was
valid
like, true.
question.
Like my dad, like now he's a father. When we were growing up, he was a child giver. He just had us. He provided for us, and that's all he fucking cared for. Now he actually takes care of us. He cares about our feelings. He involves himself. You know, he's changed a lot. So I'll admit that. There's being a child provider and there's being a child carer for, or caring for your child.
No, that's valid. I think
Yeah.
I respect that answer though, bro, because you have to first focus on yourself. Because there's a quote where it's like, if you can't love yourself, how are you gonna love someone else?
Yeah.
right?
If you're not good for yourself, you're not going to be good for anybody else.
So you have to first do that, and then once you are a better version of yourself, then you can kind of, what's the word, like pass that on to like the little Dan.
Yeah.
You
The
know?
little me's.
You know, but I would definitely say, bro, like meditate is a huge thing, and also journal, because like
Yeah. I've been told
we
to
have
journal.
a lot of similarities.
I
dude.
used to post a lot of my story of my daily thoughts.
No, fuck that. Okay, I actually need to tell you this, bro. Some of the shit that you post on Instagram, it's good. Like people like want to know you, and all. Some of this shit, bro, like it doesn't need to be fucking aired.
Yeah. So that's where I'm at now.
Make like
and,
a private page, even.
and I've listened to my girl. My girl's like, okay, this doesn't need to be said. This doesn't need to be said. So she actually screens all of my stories. So if I have a story and I want to post it, I send it to her first. I get her opinion. She's like, change this.
So I don't even think that's healthy though. Like that's a fantastic solution.
Yeah.
But here's the easiest option, dog. You make a private page, and you like, because I'm sure you have like whatever 4,000 followers, 4,000 individuals, plus all these other random people that are gonna see your shit.
Yeah.
They have no, like, literally they don't deserve to see your fucking personal life.
Yeah.
Right.
So now anything that I post or would post on my story is I write down in person and I just keep it personal.
There's that. Or if like you have a compulsion and like just an absolute need to,
I just
like,
speak to my girl about everything.
you could do that, or just make a fucking private page.
Yeah.
A lot of people have that, right? Like because Instagram or
I
whatever.
try not to put anything more privately. My girl's big on that. She doesn't want things private. She wants it all public.
Like I'm saying, like if you're like, I don't know, if you're like, I have a private page where I just post a bunch of like racy memes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas like it makes no sense for me to post that on my Instagram, right? I'll just put like,
Yeah. It would make your business look bad.
well, yeah, I just don't need the beef. Like I'll just put a I hate Trudeau meme in my private page. You know, I don't really care if that's public. Like, but you know what I mean, right? But it's not a bad solution for her to basically filter it or screen it.
Yeah, like I have my bar friends. If I speak to them at the bar, I keep it at the bar. That's it. I'm not going to go ahead and post it.
Yeah, that's valid. So basically, focus on you, kind of, I guess, realign the relationship.
Yeah, focus on me, bring up my life, bring up my relationship, bring up everything that's around me. Apply more to my job or my actual job, my bartending. Be more involved in every single thing that I'm doing, like being more of a caregiver to my dogs. Like I used to have my dogs and I keep them in their cage 24/7, or like I took them on a walk. I'm on my phone. Now when I get my dogs back, cause they're at a sitters right now. As soon as I get them back, like when I take them for a walk, I'm never touching my phone. I'm going to give them all the attention that I have. I'm going to love them to death. I'm going to even take them to school, have them taken care of, teach them lessons. Just try to learn as much as I possibly can.
That's valid, dude. So, I guess, is there any tips that you would say on overcoming setbacks and just like staying focused on long-term goals?
Overcoming setbacks, there's nothing as a setback, more of as a story to your success. So, like, even my accident that just recently happened, like, I could use it as a setback my entire life. Or I could just be like, hey, this happened. This is how I succeeded. And this is how I moved past this. And that's kind of like where my mindset's at. So it wasn't a setback. It was something that was additional to my life and added to my life. Like, hey, like I have a criminal record. I went to jail when I was a lot younger. And like, sure, that sucks. And I can look at that as a setback. Or I can look at that as something that taught me how to behave better and be a better person and not continue the same actions that put me into that situation. And just be a lot better of a person.
Valid. So, what's your, I guess, top 3 pieces of advice for anyone trying to start their own fitness journey or fitness business or really anything, bro?
Be yourself, hands down. Be your true self. Speak openly. Speak freely. Try not to use AI for everything that you do. And just be open to people. Like, be honest. Like, if someone asks you a question, be honest. Now, be discreet in what you talk about. Don't share everything because, again, privacy is the key. But be public and open about what you need to be in order to get back the answers or the feedback that you're looking for.
It's valid. Well, I guess to put a bow on this, like, if anybody is struggling with mental health, like, don't be afraid to reach out for help. Like, it's
yeah, huge. For sure. You guys can message me. You can talk to me. You can speak to me about what you're going through, and I'd be happy to explain or happy to give you my personal experience. Again, being discreet of what I dealt with and how I moved past that and added it to my story of success.
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like a lot of people, especially guys, like they don't share. They get really secluded. But if anyone's still watching this, thank you. Do all the algorithm stuff, subscribe, like, share this. If you got any value out of this, share this. And all of Dan's stuff will be in the descriptions below with his Instagram and Califit. And well, yeah, I mean, you want to say anything?
Yeah, thank you so much for watching, everybody. Please follow me on my personal at Dan Kalikia, or follow me on my business at Califit. Califit. Instagram is Cali Fitness. I don't know. There's so many of them.
I'll put it below. Don't worry, bro.
Yeah, we'll add them.
All right. Thanks for watching, guys. See you in the next one.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.